I help people rediscover their play because I really believe like their inner child is where the answers actually lie. So the future is where people are having the most fun. So dive into where you're having the most fun because that's where your future lies.
All right, so before I go into this presentation, I'm a play guy, so I need a play to start. So make sure you have a paper and pen. Elena, do you need one? Yeah. There we go. I want you to partner up with somebody, so everyone find a partner. I'm gonna pass out more. Here we go. Also, if y'all can help, there's going to be random people just hanging out by the window. So you should just be like, yo, let that person in. What's up? Here for the speaker thing? All right, I'm Jeff. We're about to start. Just go ahead and, okay. We are here to talk about no speaker group. Also, I'm recording this because some people couldn't come. So I'm just going to send it to them. All right. Basically, I'm not even going to say the whole thing. I hate gatekeeping. I freaking hate it. There's all these like videos and all these like, I'm sure you see Instagram all the time where someone is like, you can become a millionaire if you speak. And they always have their hands folded like this. They got a millionaire thing on their shirt, right? Either that or they make some claim like this where they're like, you can be a million or 7 million secret. Like if okay. Frankly, if she was making this much, she wouldn't make this slide. Like she would not have time for this, right? So there's constantly people always offering all this stuff. Now, here's the deal for me. I don't want to sell you anything. At the end of this, I don't want to help you. Like this is it. Like this is the only time. Right? Because I don't want to mentor anyone. I don't want to coach anyone. I don't have time for that. I'm trying to speak for a living. Like that's what I'm trying to do. Okay. So the reality is the reason why I'm doing this is because I don't want it to be pale, male, stale. That's exactly the main reason. I want it to be more diverse. I want more ideas, even just different perspectives. Like right now, it is very bland. When I speak about 70 to 100 times a year, I go up and I see a lot of speakers right now. I'll say it right now. Just remember this. You're ready now. You're ready now. Why do I know this? Because there's so many bad speakers out there right now that are getting paid way too much money to speak. Okay? So you're ready now. We just need to get the logistics together if you want to do this. So, okay, let's just get an idea. How many of you have never spoken? Never? Okay, so you're all, okay, great. How many of you have spoken a little bit? All right. How many of you are like speakers like me? Okay. And then how many have spoken a lot? Okay, great. Sweet. All right. So I'm going to be going fast. So logistically, I'm going to cover a lot of data at the beginning. And then we're going to also be doing a lot of interaction because frankly, after 10 minutes, I need interaction. Okay. That's just my vibe. Okay. So I say this always. I got this from my friend Destiny, who's the harpist from the hood. You should check her out. She's out of Oakland. She's dope. And she would always tell me the longest way around is the shortest way home. And what I mean by that is like no shortcuts. You don't want shortcuts. Even if you make more money at the beginning, you don't want shortcuts. And the reason why is because all of these TEDx speakers that blew up and built whole organizations from this, they were ready when the time came. Brene Brown had been studying her work for about 15, 20 years before her first one broke. Same thing with each of them, right? So you don't want to rush this. I think a lot of people are like, I want to make money now. You may not be ready. So you got to figure out like, okay, how much do I need to work and get really good before I have a stage that I really want to like kick ass on? I think a lot of people are like, quick, how can I make money immediately? I don't recommend that. I recommend you figure out what the hell you want to talk about. Really understand who you are when you're on that stage. Make a ton of mistakes so that by the time you're up on that stage, and if anything happens to you, any failure, any sound check, all that, you'll be like, it's not that big of a deal. I've already dealt with this. All right. Does that make sense to y'all? Okay. Sweet. So this is what I want you to do. And let's do this in groups of 3. But first, I want you to answer this yourself. So first reflect on this, write this down for yourself. If you could do any talk, what would you do? And what is a talk that makes you nerve-sided to do? So basically, the scary talk, the talk you would love to do, but you're also worried about it because you're like, I don't know if anyone's going to pay me to do this talk. I want you to answer both of these. I'll give you about a minute to answer, and then I want you to break it down with a group. Ready, set, go. Here. Everyone say hello to the crew as they come in. Hello. We just started. We are answering this question quietly. Go back and straight to the back and to the right. Oh, I'll give you about 30 more seconds. Okay, in groups of 3, I simply want you to answer these questions. Share these 2 answers with you, a group of 3. So find a group of 3, everybody. Might be some new people. Make sure to meet some new people. Go right ahead. I'll give you about 4 minutes to do that. Ready, set, go. I'm trying to stump you with some new stuff today. I'm going to see if I can. Yes. You got 4 minutes. You got 4 minutes.
I haven't eaten it yet, so by the time I can figure out what is going on, I'll go up.
Okay, so what's your, you can do any talk.
Any talk, what would you do?
It might be the same thing as this, it might be a different answer.
Any talk I would talk about, what challenges would be a good one?
Wait, why?
What challenges would be-
Okay. Okay, so you're answering both these questions. You could do any talk, what would it be? And then the nerve-sided talk, Kathy, this is the challenge for the veteran, for the speakers that have been around. All right, so go talk in your group. Go, you 2 head over there and I'll send Melissa. And if you need to write it down, grab a pen in order to do it. So this is it. These 2, Melissa. You could do any talk. What would you do? And then the challenging for you. What's the talk that makes you nerve-sided? Maybe you don't get paid. Maybe you're worried you're not going to get paid. Because it might offend some people, but you still want to do it. That's what we want to get to. 3 minutes, everybody. 3 minutes. Zoom thing is just going to be me dancing. Also, we have ice cream, we have wine, we have seltzer water, we have chips. We have a lot of things going on. And the ice cream's melting, so if you need to have it, go ahead and grab it. All right, 2 more minutes, everybody. 2 minutes. Yes, thank you. Perfect timing. Okay, so this is perfect because we join with this crew. This is the speaker crew that I travel a lot around with. And we're just answering these two questions. You do any talk? What will you do?
They're excited. All right.
And then the talk that makes you nerve-sided. As he licked
We need to clean up for you.
as he licked, don't eat, eat out of that bowl. All right, 90 seconds, everybody, 90 seconds. I'm counting slow so that y'all can share. So when you're ready, Melissa, share with the group. We're all sharing what we're. You know what that wine is? The wine I'm trying to get rid of from my closet. Okay. Closet wine. You're like, ooh, let me get rid of this closet wine. All right, 60 seconds, everyone. 60 seconds. Thirty seconds. Make sure everybody shares. Get all your answers out. All your answers. Somebody want to hear some. Yeah. Ten more seconds. Start to wrap up. Start to wrap up. All right, let's bring it back. Let's bring it back. Let's bring it back, everybody. Let's bring it back. Let's hear. I want to hear from y'all. Okay, everyone. All right, bring it back. Bring it back. Bring it back. All right. Now, what I'm going to do, because I see this is a rowdy bunch, when I need to get your attention, I'm simply going to go ground. And what will you say? Ground. Ground. Sweet. All right. So, oh, by the way, there is a dog here and he may lick your bowl if you put it on the ground. So just be aware. Okay. So part of the reason why we do this is because it's a different question. Some of you might have the same answer. Some of you might have a different answer. The whole point of doing this is I don't want you to come up with the talk that you think will sell. Forget about that. Fuck that shit, right? You should be figuring out the talk that you really want to do. Because I think a lot of times, and especially because there's some of y'all that have been speaking for a while here, right? Where you're like, well, what is the talk that's going to sell? But then it ruins your voice. You lose your voice. We want to get to this. Okay. So let me hear some of the answers for if you could do any talk, what would you do? Just throw it out. What would you do? Come on, your speakers. Let's hear some speaking. What? Relational literacy. Ooh. If you find that interesting, just go, ooh. Okay, what else? What else? What else we got? Okay. Ooh, what else? What else? Wait, say that again. I want to hear that. Oh, that's a dope talk. You see, we already have it. Okay, more. Give me more. Oh, humor and social movements. I like it. See, people want to talk to you, right? Okay, one more. What? You see what I'm saying? What's yours? What I know there was one in you. Wait, say it again. Let's see the seminar. We're starting. Let's go. Oh, damn. Do you see how good these are already? Okay, let me hear some nerve-sided talks. Ones that you, and again, this is nerve-sided for you. You don't have to impress anybody. This is just for you. What is it? What? War and Peace. Okay. Oh, world peace. Oh, world peace. Okay, what else? Nerve-sided. Nerve-sided. It's a risk for you to do this. Roshni. Okay, okay, one more. Okay.
How I feel my relationships with them.
Ooh. Yes. Okay, so we have the talks already in us, right? We already have the interesting talks. So let's not dumb them down when we are applying for stuff. Let's go big with as many. Now, well, I'll get into that in a moment. All right, let me get through the logistical data part. Stay with me. It's gonna be like 10 minutes of like a lot of stuff. And then we're gonna get into how we're gonna actually utilize this. Got it? All right, so let's go. Okay, so topics we're covering. What do you need to start right now? Because some of you are just starting. Some of you already know this. How much can you make and where to find gigs? Practicing your nerve-sided talk. We're going to do that, as well as how to ask for money, because we got to get over that, right? Then we're going to take a break, hang out, make sure to eat the ice cream because it's about to melt. And then we're going to get into play values and using play to find your next gig. So we want to use actual creativity to find your next gig. Cool? All right. So what do you need to get started? Concisely written bio, 50 words, 75, 100, 150, something like that. Multiple different versions based off of whatever you have. If you can't write it, have your friends write it for you. Right? It's amazing how much they like you more than you sometimes. Like if you wrote your own bio, I had my friend write it and I was like, who is that? I don't even recognize that person. So do that. Second, speaker reel. You'll need some sort of speaker reel. Now, some of you have a lot of stage time. Some of you have none. If you don't have any stage time, this is what I did with my friend the other day. We went to a college right down the road, like Mills College, and we just filmed her in different rooms. That's all we did. Was there a crowd? No, there doesn't need to be a crowd. You just make it up, right? You find different stages. We can even do that here today. If anyone needs anything where someone can just stand up here and everyone's like, woo, we might do that. We might have to do that, right? But just again, it's all about just getting any content of you on stage, any stage. Get a bunch of your friends together, get some wine, and just like start saying stuff, and they're just gonna scream, and then go close up so it looks like it's 100 people, even though it's just 5. All right. So speaker reel. Anyone can do this. Website. Do you need a website? Yeah. Maybe. If you don't have time to do a website, don't let that prevent you from just getting the shit done. My friend who speaks and makes a ridiculous amount of money hasn't updated her website in 5 years. Okay, so the website doesn't have to be, it just has to be something. Some landing page, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok. I know a lot of people that just have a TikTok page, and that's enough. Okay? All right. References. Have like 3. Get some references from people that have actually seen you speak. And then lastly, what talks you're currently offering. The titles is all you need. Don't worry about the descriptions yet. Write the descriptions when you're asked to write the descriptions. But if you're not ready, don't write it yet. Because trust me, I have put together workshops like the day of, all right? So you never know. You just never know. But let's just, by the way, this thing's going to turn off and on, so I'm just going to let you all know. It's a little janky. Okay, all right. Me. All right, this is me pre-pandemic. This is post-pandemic. As you can see, it's been tough. I'm very proud of myself. Look how I slept perfectly on both sides. I didn't even know it was picture day that day. Look at that. Okay. How long have I been speaking? I've been speaking full-time since 2020. I do about 70 to 100 talks a year. most of my stuff that I talk about is making work suck less through play and positive psychology. That's my jam. And my first talk that I ever did was with my friend Gary Ware, which was a nerve-sided talk called Dealing with A-Holes in the Workplace Through Play. That was my first talk. We just did it as a joke. We didn't even know that we were going to get picked. And then we just applied to a bunch of places. It took us to Boston. It took us to Australia. We got into South by Southwest. And then the pandemic hit. And then right after that happened, I just started making up talks and doing them virtually. That's my jam, right? All right, that's me. Enough about me. One thing you have to know is that speaking is only 20%. A lot of people forget it's more of this. And people hate this. Some people hate this. You're going to have to get to know this. You're going to have to get to know how to like appreciate this part, because this, you just don't speak and then people just gather around you and you're like, you're just amazing. That happens later on, perhaps, right? But a majority of this is business development. It's sales. It is talking to people. Recognize this is what it is. Okay? There's no thing around it. All right, let's talk about how much you can make. Let me move this so that we can, there you go. So this is from Speaker Flow. They do a state of the industry every year. I will give you a link to all of this stuff. If you want to scan the QR code, you can at any time. This is how much people make per year, according to 2022, 2023 numbers. Most people are here. They're making less than $50,000 a year. So anyone that's like, everyone's a millionaire, that's bullshit, okay? If you've been doing it for a little bit of time, then maybe you're probably in this realm. This is very difficult. You need to have staff in order to get to like this level. And then all of this, you need to have a ton more staff. And I can talk to you about what that actually looks like. So, okay. So average, right? So they're like average $500,000. Okay, but the people that make $500,000, they also have 6 to 10 staff helping them. Okay, most people are here. People don't realize that. Now, you might be able to get to here, but at some point you'll need someone else to help you. So just realize when people are throwing out all these gigantic numbers and they're like, oh, I'm doing it all by myself. That's bullshit. All right. There's a clear reason why they're doing it, or they're just lying. Especially if they have $1 million on their t-shirt, trust me, they're contacting you to be like, you're a speaker. Do you get those spam emails all the time where they're like 7 figures? Like, dude, you would not be emailing me if you had 7 figures, right? You'd be on a beach somewhere. You wouldn't be spamming me at 2 a.m. in the morning. Yes. Solo is full-time. Yeah, solo is full-time. Or at least my understanding of how I read the data. Now, let's get into what I made, because I'm full disclosure. We're trying to dismantle patriarchy, right? Dismantle capitalism. Let's talk numbers. First year. Oh, that was rough, right? Okay, mind you, it was the pandemic, but that's just the reality, right? I made $7,000. Luckily, I lived off of my savings and my unemployment. That was the first year, right? Second year, still hadn't opened up, so a lot of my stuff was virtual. I only increased it. I guess I doubled it, but it was still really low, right? $15,000, something around there. The third year, still low. This was the first year in which we opened up and I could travel. So I made $32,000, but I spent like $40,000 speaking and getting in front of people. So I was still running in the red. I probably was running in the red the most this year. This was the year that I was like, should I even do this? Is this a good idea? I don't know. And the reason I tell this story is because you got to realize like it's rough. It is rough out there. At the beginning, it is rough. People that are speakers must have a lot of privilege because you need a lot of money just to go around, right? So my recommendation, and I did not do this because I couldn't, right? I was playing with Lego for a living and then they just laid us off, is if you have the opportunity to have extra income coming from another job, you might want to hold on to that until you figure out how to break away. I wouldn't just do it all in unless you truly believe and you have the time to do it, because if you're going to go all in, then it's really scary, because then you're like every gig, like I got to get this gig. And any conversation you have, people can hear it in your voice. Like that desperation where they're like, I need this. You don't want to have that. You want to be able to play here. Finally, we turned it around in 2023. I finally made 115. Let's go. Yeah, that was pretty good. All right. And then the next year, I doubled that. Let's go. And now we're back down to lower. All right. Okay, because it's been a rough year. And I was just in Denver like 4 days ago, and I was talking to other speakers, and we're all struggling, right? A lot of this because of all of the uncertainty. There's a lot of people that are pulling back on money. So again, as a concept of speakers, know that it goes with the vibe of the industry, right? So just know that. Okay, that's mine. All right. Where do you find your speaking? How do I move that? Does anyone know? Let me know later. Okay, where do you find your speaking gigs? So if we're just starting out, okay, call for speakers on Google. Sort by past week, past month, anything like that. Same thing. You can do call for speakers on Instagram. Sort that way. That's the way in which you find these call for speakers. Also, do this on LinkedIn. I do this every 2 weeks. Hashtag call for speakers. If you figured out your industry, and we'll talk about that in a moment, then write your industry. So I would do hashtag call for speakers, human resources. Okay. I just did this today because I put this presentation together like 2 hours ago. And you'll just see what shows up. Anyone want to speak in Germany? You know, you got like 4 days if you want to speak in Germany. This one, are you a payment expert, fraud strategist, or fintech innovator? I don't even know what those words mean. Probably not going to do this, right? But you do these levels of searches to find call for speakers. Now, those call for speakers do not pay. Most of them do not pay. Maybe one of them might cover your travel. If you're lucky, they'll cover your ticket in, right? But other than that, they don't pay. So just know if you're applying for call for speakers, what you're doing right now is you're getting reps and you're getting in front of people. A lot of times we're like, oh, well, do I have to speak for free? We'll get into that in a moment. Do I have to speak for free or not? At the beginning, yeah, because no one knows who you are. So you gotta be in front of these industries. So you gotta figure out where you want to do this. But just know the call for speakers, you speak for free. Another way in which you can find associations. There are so many freaking associations. You can literally go to directory of associations. It'll show you all of them. These are 3 major ones that I speak through that are phenomenal or great. Meeting professionals. These are all the event planners that set up all major events, right? The AWS, reInvent, South by Southwest. All those people are here. There's a Northern California chapter. They have networking events every month. You can go hang out with them. They're not always the most fun people, but you might want to meet them just to know what that world is like. There is ASAE. I'm about to speak at this one. Center for Association Leadership. A lot of hotels, a lot of event planners, and a lot of just decision makers that have money. Now notice there is always a state chapter, and sometimes there's even a city chapter. So again, this is a way in which you can speak anytime. Every month, people are looking for someone to hire to speak, to do their monthly thing. Also, most of these also run conferences, so you can reach out to them that way. SHRM is HR. This is what I spend a majority of my time doing, and I have had many people from here at this conference, okay? So many associations. Figure out your niche. Find the local chapters, and you can speak for free anytime with them. You just have to apply in advance. Okay? All right. Where else do you find speaking? Okay. Some of these are controversial, but I'm going to talk about them anyway. Bark. Bark is a website that you can find a plumber. Okay? But also, speakers actually look for this as well. There are speaking opportunities, 20 speaking opportunities a day on Bark. Now, here's the deal. There's also 100 speakers looking for those 20 opportunities. Okay? So, is it a good use of your time? You have to decide for yourself. Melissa, can you explain what Speaker Hub is for people? Because she was the one that introduced me to that.
Yeah, so Speaker Hub is a web-based platform that has two sides. There is Speaker Hub Pro and Speaker Hub Profile. I think that's what they're called. So there's the outbound and the inbound. The inbound is you can set up a profile where you can put your bio, your video reels, you can put courses up there. Basically, it's almost like a digital,
Like resume or something.
yeah, a digital media kit
Okay.
for yourself that you can flesh out as much as you want. And I haven't filled mine out. But if you do not have fantastic SEO, if somebody plugs in your name on Google and you're like page 20, then taking advantage of Speaker Hub for inbound is a really good idea because they have excellent SEO. So that's that side of it. What I really use is the outbound side, which is Speaker Hub Pro. And so what it allows you to do is to first search for podcasts, associations, and conferences, and also media or press, which I haven't used for press. So you can run all these searches and add contacts into essentially a bucket, like a super stripped down, simplified CRM. That's my relationship management, basically. And then this is where it gets really fancy. Then you can automatically send outreach emails to these contacts, and it will generate, using AI, it will generate based on your profile that you set up, it will generate emails that you can then, go in and edit them however you want. But it will generate these emails, you can schedule one to go, or you can send them right then. It will send out a pitch for you. And then those pitches then will go into this list of these are all the pitches that have been sent out, and then you can send out follow-ups. Very simply. So I now have a VA, who I pay $10 an hour, and she goes in and she sends out 20 pitches a day, and 20 follow-ups a day. And without Speaker Hub, I gotta tell you, I wasn't sending out any pitches or any follow-ups. And now I send out 20 pitches and 20 follow-ups a day, 5 days a week. And I'm on like 1 or 2 podcasts a week. And I've gotten some couple of free and some very low paying association gigs, and I've gotten my paid conference getting out there.
Sweet. All right. Okay. So those are just 2 examples. eSpeakers is very similar as well. My recommendation with any of these things is if you put your information on a website, like a media kit, don't just assume after you put it on there that they'll find you and hire you. You're still going to have to do the outreach. The outreach is a huge amount of it. Again, remember 80-20, right? We should be constantly, if you want to do this for real, you should be contacting someone every day to ask them if you can speak. The other ones, just to let you know, Sessionize is a really good one for tech. And once you enter all your information in, you can apply automatically over and over and over again. And then these 2, Vistage and Renaissance, they are snooty tooties. These are the fancy organizations where CEOs work for these 2. They pay you very little to speak to them, but they basically pay you like, I think, $1,000. And you speak to maybe 20 CEOs for 3 hours. But those CEOs are the decision makers, or the C-suite executives, the decision makers. So if you can sneak into Vistage and you can sneak into Renaissance, amazing. But those are 2 other options. All right? All right, we're almost done with this part. One last thing. Where do you find speaking gigs? ChatGPT, people. Okay, so what I wrote is based on all my topics, description, my bio, the conferences I've spoken at, as well as my favorite speakers, and everything you know about me from the first time I used you, UcheBot. UcheBot is my ChatGPT. Give me a list of all of them, and they just throw them out for you. And a lot of these I've either spoken at or applied to, but some of these I don't know. So do this every couple weeks, right, and update it. That's another way you can find. And then lastly, and this is easy for y'all because you're like, that's a lot of information. I'm not going to remember any of this crap. Okay, great. Doesn't matter. This is my database of every place I've ever applied. Just go to this website and you'll have access to this. I always give this out to people. All right, feel free to share it with all your friends. It has HR, women's conferences, POC conferences, all the TEDx's that I've ever applied to, California associations, all of it. Because I'm not trying to gatekeep again. We should all be sharing and looking out for each other. Cool? All right, we're moving on. Okay. All right. Lastly, who are your favorite speakers? All of your favorite speakers, a lot of them, if you just look on Google, they post where they've spoken. So look for where all the cool people are and just apply to the same freaking conferences that they're at. Very simple. This is my friend Denise Jacobs out of Florida. She's phenomenal. She once filled in for Brene Brown in Africa. She's a badass. She lists all of her stuff all the way down to 2012 when she was speaking. Okay, so there's a lot of people that will post it on their website, or you can just simply search on Google the person's name and when they last spoke, and there's going to be a bunch of things. Add those all up. All right. Okay. To speak for free or not to speak for free? That is the question. Should you speak for free?
Sure.
Should you? Tell me more. What do you mean?
An audience of decision makers who are the ideal customer for me, hell yeah.
So have your criteria, as everyone needs their criteria as to when you should speak for free and when you shouldn't. You will know when you need to stop speaking for free when you're at a conference and you're like, they should have paid me. Like you'll feel it. You'll be angry about it. Okay? Right? So for me, this is my criteria. Not too expensive. Strong likelihood they'll hire me next year. Like I'm keynoting HR Nebraska this year. Last year I spoke for free. People were like, what in the world are you doing in Omaha? I was like, I have no idea. Right? But I delivered and then they hired me. Great. Conference or location that I'm having fun. Melissa is speaking in Alaska. She's keynoting in Alaska. Now I'm going to the conference because then I can hang out with her. We can watch the Aurora Borealis together. Done. That's why I'm going. Okay? Quality conference. So figure out how many people are going to be there. There's a lot of conferences that will sell you and tell you there's going to be a lot of people there or that you're going to be a keynote and then there's 10 people there. Don't do those. A lot of them also will be like, hey, and all you have to do is pay a fee. Should you pay a fee to speak? No, never. Only like if like I'm speaking for ASAE and they have a membership, I'll pay for that, right? But if someone is being like, I can get you on stage for $1,000. Don't do that. That's some bullshit. All right. Figure out the number, email them to find out how many people are going to be there. And then lastly, have you gotten work from there before? I go to my SHRM every year because the last 2 years I've gotten $40,000 worth of work. All right. So that's my criteria. Figure out your criteria for free. Cool. All right. Now, okay, finally, we're getting back to this. Okay. So this is what we're going to do. What I want you to do is I want you to expand on this answer. What is a talk that makes you nerve-sighted to do? So I want you to answer, what pain point are you trying to solve by doing that talk? I want you to explore that. I'm going to give you about a minute to do this, and then we're going to do an activity. Okay? So you're taking your nerve-sided talk, and you're identifying what pain point are you trying to solve? Because this is how you're going to have to pitch to conferences as well as workshops. I'll give you about a minute. Go ahead, everyone, go. Find it? You want me to find it? So for anyone that's wondering what I mean by pain point, how would you, by you doing this talk, does it make their life easier? How does it make the organization's life easier, the team person easier, the executive that you're hiring? How do you make their life easier with your talk? Okay. All right. You're starting to expand on this. Now, this is what I want you to do. And this is going to be hard, but I believe you can all do this. What I want you to do, and you can do it. You can do it. I want you to write 30 seconds of the talk. It could be 30 seconds at the beginning. It could be 30 seconds in the middle. It could be 30 seconds at the end. I don't care. Just write 30 seconds of the talk. How do you know it's 30 seconds? Write it down and then time yourself. All right. I want you to write 30 seconds of the talk. I'll give you about 3 minutes to do this, and then we're going to do something with this. 30 seconds of your nerve-sided talk. All right. 3 minutes to write it. One last thing. Elizabeth Gilbert, I'm a huge fan. Annalyn's actually going to see her in person. Elizabeth Gilbert talks about how genius visits you. No one's a genius. It just literally visits you. Allow your inner child, allow your genius to visit you. Don't think like, I can't come up with it. Just play with the idea. Play with the idea. See what comes up. 30 seconds. You got 3 minutes. Ready, set, go. All right, 2 minutes, 2 minutes. Get it down. One minute, 1 minute. Polish it up. All right, 30 more seconds. 30 seconds to write your 30-second talk. Okay. All right. So we're going to do something with this 30-second talk in a moment. But going back to our drawing exercise at the beginning, right? The first version you drew and, it might have been really tense. The second time you drew, you might have let it go with the results. The whole point of this is play is the opposite of perfection. Perfection is rooted in like ego, shame, constantly trying to be right. Play, you're following your curiosity. You don't know where this is going to go. That could be your play career. So as you're going to be doing this talk, let go of the perfection of it. We don't need to have it perfect. This is the first time you've written it. You wrote it 3 minutes ago. Let go of that, right? And just have fun with actually talking and sharing it. So we're going to share it in a moment. But before that, I want you to figure out how much, looking at that 30-second talk, how much would you charge? How much would you charge for that talk? And a way in which you can figure this out, someone drew this once when I was doing a podcast interview. It's called the giggle test. It's from my friend Stephen Worley. The giggle test is this. If you want to figure out how much to charge, you look in the mirror and you just start saying a number. And when you giggle, that's your number. That's your scary number. It's not about the number. The number doesn't really matter. It's for you, right? So you might be giggling. You're like, $2,000? Oh my gosh, right? Or you might be like, $2,000. That's so low. All right. That's your range from like, how dare you offer me that much money to the giggle. All right. So you figure out what your number is. Say that to yourself. Write that down right now. What is your giggle number where you're like, I can't believe I'm asking for this amount, right? Because you're going to be asking for that in a moment. Okay? Okay? Yeah. No, the 30 second. I mean, right now, we're going to do the 30 second. We're going to do the 30 second. All right, so write down your number. Everybody get your number down. Get your number. No, we're just write down a nerve-sided number that you charge. Good to see you all. All right, write down the nerve-sided number that you will ask for, because we're addressing Jane's thing right now. We're going to break through the bullshit of the number. It's just the number. It doesn't really matter. But we have a lot of rules with the number. So we're going to get out of that. We're going to get out of that head. Okay? Everyone's got their number?
Giggling already.
I know, right? This is going to be like, I can't believe I'm asking for this. Yeah. You're going to ask for this. Okay. Do the whole talk, but you only have to do 30 seconds. Then the other side will respond. First time, just give them love. Just say, oh, it's so great. Oh, it's amazing. Right? And then you're going to tell me how much you're charging. All right? That's it. And then your job the first time, twos is just accept it. Be like, oh, it's so reasonable. All right? We're going to get reps. And the second and third time, we're going to make it harder on each other. Where someone's going to be like, oh, well, mine's $5,000. Ooh, that seems like a lot of money. I don't know if we can do that. So we'll make it harder each time. Got it? But your job is to get reps. Okay, are we ready? Ones, are you ready? Do your 30 seconds.
You got it.
Everybody. All right. So this is what we're going to get to. So we're going to get to outreach, and then we're going to do a fun exercise to wrap up. Okay? We're going to do a play exercise. You're going to do the one that I love to do, that I just did in Denver, that I was actually really scared that I thought it was going to go bad, but it actually went really well, and I might actually make money from it. So again, I learned myself. I'm learning just like all y'all. I take risks. Sometimes it fails. Sometimes it's success. But it's all about the reps. It's all about putting yourself out there, letting go of the perfection. Okay, so how to outreach? Okay, so here's the question. How often do you ask for help? On a scale from 0 to 7, how often in the last month did you ask for help? 1, I asked for information. 2, I asked for help with a task. 3, I asked for emotional support. And 4, I asked a friend or colleague to introduce me to someone. All right, how many people you asked for information? Anyone the last week? Okay, that's good. All right, how many of you asked for help with a task? Okay. How many of you asked for emotional support? Oh, good. This is the ground floor crew. Ground floor crew. That's what I'm talking about. How many of you asked for introductions? Okay, we need this. This is what we need to do. Okay, so on your piece of paper or on your phone, what I want you to first identify, if you were to speak and do your 30-second talk, but do it as a whole talk, who are 5 friends that you would ask right now that can help you find paid gigs or introductions to organizations so that you could pitch this? I want you to write down 5 people. 5 people you know really well. What?
Besides for you.
What? Don't count me. Don't count me. Like I said, this is the last time I'm doing this talk. I'm not helping you all after this. It's shutting down after this. We're shutting it down. Don't call me for mentorship. I don't have time for that. This is it. One and done here. Okay, so 5 friends, 5 people, not friends, colleagues, but people that you feel close enough that you can call in a favor to be like, hey, I know you've worked for Google for a really long time. Hey, I know you've worked for this dream company. if I wanted to do something for an ERG or I wanted to do something, who would I talk to? Can you introduce me to that? Write those 5 people down because that's the beginning of your list. I'll give you about a minute to do that. Or 30 seconds. I'll give you 30 seconds. You can come up 5 people. Come on. All right, 10 more seconds. If you can only come up with a few, that's okay as well. As many as you can. But let's try to get 5. Okay. And again, all these exercises, I recommend you do them in longer fashion at home. This is just an example. Second, all right, make a list of 5 good connections who can help you. So a lot of you are on LinkedIn. A lot of you are on Instagram. A lot of you have a ton of followers or a lot of people. And when I say a ton is, let's say you have 100 or 200. That's a lot of people. That could be a lot of people. Going through your LinkedIn, right? Who are potential people? Maybe you don't know them that well, but you know them enough. And if you can't think of them now, then you can go on LinkedIn right after this or any other platform. Who are 5 connections, acquaintances that you can think of? And again, it doesn't have to be 5, just who comes up for you.
That can help.
That can help you get a speaking gig right now. A paid gig, by the way. So it's different because 5 friends are like people that you know really well and you can call in favors. 5 connections are just people like you might just know from LinkedIn, or you might have seen them at one conference, or you just started a friendship with them like a week ago, you know, or you met them today, but not me. No, man. No, this is. Oh my gosh, that's funny. All right, 10 more seconds. 10 more seconds. All right, we're moving to the last one. We're moving to the last one. Okay, make a list of 5 dream people who you can help that can help you. 5 people that you're like, they'll never respond to me, but I'm going to reach out to them. Great example. I applied to Brene Brown's podcast once. Had to see if I did it, right? Who are other people? Who are some dream people? You're just like, well, I'm connected with them on LinkedIn or I know about them. Who's someone that I would love to reach out to? Either people or, you know, a community, but who are some dream people that you're, oh, it would be so cool if I could figure out a way in which to contact them. It could be a podcast. It could be me reaching out to Brene for a podcast. It could be me reaching out to Trevor Noah because I just saw him speak. I just saw him speak like 4 days ago and be like, hey, I loved you at this one. This is the type of speaking that I do. Do you have any suggestions where I can speak, right? Like this is what we're talking about. Thinking of the dream people for you. It could be some poker star that you know, right? Again, we want to expand what is possible rather than just be like, oh, I'm just going to contact my friends again. Same people I always talk to. Let's break out of that. Let's break out of that mindset. Oh, what was my? What did I write? And this is a really good thing. Okay, here, I'll answer that. So if you're trying to get on podcasts, right? Listen to the last podcast or listen to multiple. Don't listen to the whole thing. You can listen like 2 minutes, right? But then I specifically reference things that I resonated from 3 or 4 different podcasts with hers. And then was like, okay, this is how Daring Greatly changed my life, or this is how this impacted me. And this is how I'm using Daring Greatly through my play work. So then I not only was like, oh, let me not just praise them because like they get praised all the time, but actually tying in their work with my work. So like feel like you're equivalent to them rather than like belittling yourself for them, right? And be like, here's how I can bring value to your podcast, Brene, because you haven't talked about play yet. That's how I presented it. Okay, so this exercise is, you can do this with your friends. Get some mimosas or some ice cream, whatever gets you in the vibe, and brainstorm this way. Who are all my friends that can help me? Who are all these acquaintances that help me? Who are these big dream contacts? It doesn't have to be 5. That's just an arbitrary number. But we want to build a network. And the reason why is because 80% of your work is going to come from 20% of your people. All right? That is always how it plays out. A lot of times we spend a lot of time on the not important, figure out the 20%. What is it they say? 80. Yeah, I've said it earlier. 80% of your first clients ever are people you already know. They're already people you know. So we're not trying to look for new people. Just look at the list of people that you already know. They don't know what you're offering. So figure out, I was talking earlier, what is your name again? Tarita. So Tarita was talking about how she wrote a book. Now she's like, what do I want to do with the book, right? Okay. I said, take a look at the book, figure out how you can do 4 different talks. Oh, well, I thought I needed to narrow it down. No, I have 8 talks right now. I don't know if it's a good idea, but that's what I'm doing. You figure out your 4 talks, figure out which talk is your favorite talk, but make ones for each and every one, and then just start pitching it. At some point, those 4 will get down to like 2 or 1 based off of what you vibe with, what you resonate with, okay? Do the talks that are most interesting to you. But again, focus on the 80%. Oh, this thing's shifted. All right, let me scoot it over here. Okay. All right. Now, let me briefly hit the cold outreach, and then we're going to get to the play thing, because that's what I want to get to. Okay, cold outreach. When you email somebody, 28% of them are going to open it. Those are the numbers. 8% only reply. So if you're going to do cold outreach, know that if you reach out to 100 people, only 8 are going to reply. That's not a bad thing. That's actually a good number. So be okay with that. Second way in which to outreach. Identify who they already know if you don't know them really that well, but drop the names of some people. Oh, you know Steve? I know Steve. I work with Steve on this talk. Like what I do is I spoke with Steve at this conference. I spoke with this person at this conference. I was on this person's podcast. That creates some level of connection, right? Because no one's going to hire you if they've never met you. No one's going to give you money if they have no clue. They're not going to take that risk. They can't. They could screw themselves that way. So somehow you have to figure that out. Obviously, the most important thing is, and this is why we made the list, get the introduction. That's the best thing. But if you can't do that, then do these 2 things. Okay? And it's okay if you're reaching out and you get a lot of rejections or you get a lot of people that don't write you back. That's just the game. That's part of what we're doing. Last part regarding contact calendar. This is for some of y'all that have been around for a while. If you want to do a keynote, plan 9 to 10 months in advance. Some people are planning 12 to 15 months in advance. They've already booked for 2027 already, right? So just know that if you're trying to do a conference keynote, you have to figure out, my recommendation is you break out your favorite conferences per quarter and then figure out when you're going to contact them. Make this master list of all the places you want to speak at and then figure out your contact, whether you do it through your VA or you do it yourself. But know that it's 9 to 10 months. Workshops, All right. Workshops are 2 to 8 months. So you might be able to get a workshop in the next 2 months. You probably aren't going to get another one in the next week or the next month. You could stumble on one, as I did earlier, but you can't, it's just not going to fall in your lap. All right. So workshops, retreats, those are more likely, again, through this. Okay. Oh, last things that I'm going to say is speaker bureaus. Anyone familiar with speaker bureaus? Raise your hand if you are. Okay, for anyone that doesn't know, speaker bureaus, they represent you. Are they really good? No, not right now. You're not there yet. Speaker bureaus only want you when you have so many gigs already. They're like banks. They only want you when you have a lot of money. So if you're already getting so many speaking things, they get what? I think 10, sometimes 15%. If you're not charging $20,000, they don't really care. They're representing Trevor Noah that makes $100,000 or $200,000 a gig. You're not going to be higher on their poll. I'm on 4 speaker bureaus right now. I've got nothing from them. It's good. You can put your name on there, but you should not be depending on that. Also, don't depend on a speaker agent. I hired one for 3 months, $6,000. How many gigs did I get? 0. I got 0 gigs. What a waste of money. I could have used that to travel. So angry, but I wanted to see if it worked, right? Again, do the work yourself. Don't worry. Don't try to find the shortcut. I made the mistake. All right. Finally, we get to the good stuff. Okay. So everybody stand up because God, all right. What I want you to do is just like wiggle like a kid because we got to get all this adult stuff out of us. Get that wiggle out. Get the wiggles. All right. And then what I want you to do when you're done with your wiggles, I want you to pretend like you're on a playground and I want you to give your most ridiculous, silly face to the people next to you on the count of 3. All right. You have 3 seconds to figure out the face. 3, 2, 1. Give it a face. Give it a face. Give it a face. All right. Sit down and high five each other because we're about to do this. Okay. Get the high fives. Get the high fives. All right. I love this and we have enough time. Thank goodness. All right. So this is what I do. I love doing this. What I'm going to ask you in a moment is I'm going to ask you these 2 questions. I'm going to ask you, what was your favorite way to play as a kid? And I'm going to ask you, why did you love to play in this way? But the way we're going to do it is we're going to go back to our childhood. So I'm going to play some music and we're going to meditate in order because we're at ground floor and there's always meditation. We always need a little meditation. Okay. All right. So everyone get comfortable in your seats. Get comfortable in your seats. I am going to play some music and I'm going to ask you these 2 questions. Now, key thing, if you did not play that much as a kid, then I just want you to think of the last time you played, okay? Maybe you didn't play a lot when you were a child, all right? So I want everyone to get comfortable, close your eyes, and then I'm going to play some music to take us back, all right? Everyone get comfortable, close your eyes, and I will start the music. Go all the way back to when you were a kid. I want you to ask this question. What was your favorite way to play? Outside, spring, summer, fall. I just want you to sit. It sound. Smell. Smell first. Oh, smell. Ask yourself, why do you love to play with that way? Make sure connection. Why love to play that way? Because write down your favorite way to play it. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. And here, let me reshare my screen here. What I want you to do is I want you to identify the second question. Why did you love to play in that way? I want you to identify 3 descriptions, 3 values that describe that type of play. So I'll give you an example. I love to combine all my board games together when I was a kid and make this epic board game of Chutes and Ladders, Candyland, Mousetrap, Clue, Monopoly, Sorry, like all of them. And then I would have my sisters play with me. They hated it, but I loved it, right? So my values are connection, collaboration, and creativity. My best work are those 3. We want to figure out your 3 values. I want you to identify them. So look at your favorite way to play and what are those values? Is it freedom? Is it adventure? Is it collaboration? What are 3? Come up with 3 ones because we're going to use them in less than 30 seconds. So I want you to identify 3 values, each of you. All right, I'll give you about 30 more seconds. 3, make sure you get 3. We need the 3. Okay. All right. This is what I want you to do. I want you to find 2 other people. 2 people you do not know. Find them, stand next to them. If someone wants to sit down, then respect that. And then you all sit down. But I recommend if you can stand, you have more energy when you stand. But find 2 other people you do not know. Groups of 3. Find groups of 3. Someone you don't know at all. Introduce them yourself, high five them, connect with them. All right, groups of 3. Groups of 3. Groups of 3. We can do it. might have one. And we got a group of 4. We have one group of 4. Groups of 3. Oh, you can do 2 groups of 4. We can do 2 groups of 4. Okay, well, 2 groups of 4. Okay. All right. So this is what we're going to do, everybody. First off, high five your partners. High five your partners. Hey, what's up? How you doing? What's going on? What's up? All right. Here's what you're going to do. Person with the longest hair will go first. Okay. For the groups of 4, you're going to have to go a little bit faster, but don't worry. I'll give you a little bit more time. So, person with the longest hair will go first. What they will do is they're not going to say what they did when they were a kid. We don't have time for that. You're simply going to share your 3 play values, and you're going to share one way in which you want to talk about your speaking work. Okay? So let's give it let's say, Melissa, would you be willing to volunteer? So let's do this all for Melissa. Melissa, what's your favorite? Give me 3 of your play values.
So original. Connection.
Collaboration. Creativity. All right. Connection, collaboration, creativity. And what's one way you like to talk about your work, your speaking work? Like, do you like to do it through podcasts? Do you like to do it through emails? Do you like to do it through TikToks? Like, what is your...
I love guesting on podcasts.
Okay, great. So her things are connection, collaboration, and creativity. Those are her 3. She loves to do it through podcasts. Now, your job, and this is very difficult for a lot of us because we are adults. We want to let go of that adult brain. We're going to adult like a kid right now. I want you to throw the most ridiculous ideas at Melissa. And her job is to just write them down. She's not going to be like, I've already done that one. No, don't break the flow. Just give her ideas. All right. So I want you to connection, collaboration, and creativity, and podcasts. Okay. Are you ready? Any ideas? As ridiculous, don't judge it. Ready, set, go. Let's hear it. What we got? Because she's a drawer. What else?
Do a podcast in a sandbox.
Ooh, make a video of you making some ridiculous presentation. Could be in the sandbox, right? For that person that you know would resonate with them because it vibes with their thing. Like they're into boats and you do it on a boat. Figure out some creative storytelling. What else? What else?
What if you ask people to come and create a podcast with you?
Ooh, okay. Keep going. What else?
Live on the street, performing as it goes, live streaming.
Oh, live streaming podcast.
On the street.
Let's go. What else? One more. Don't hold back. Allow yourself to get giddy.
Dye someone's hair while you're doing a podcast.
Oh, okay. Do you see what I'm saying? So the whole point is we're trying to get our ideas flowing. It's not about the idea. So don't get fixated on the idea. Allow yourself to just be ridiculous with the ideas. Let it flow. So that's an example of that. Okay? Everyone give it up for Melissa. Give it up for Melissa. All right. So person with the longest hair will go first. Groups of 4, you're going to have to go a little bit faster, right? We're going to go 3 minutes per person. Groups of 4. You can figure. You'll be in it. Yes.
Some example. Can you scoot over?
Yeah.
What are some example answers of your favorite way to talk about it? Is that modalities?
So an example would be like modalities. It would be like, I love sending emails. Oh gosh, is that how you like to do it? I love making TikTok videos. I love talking people face to face. I like to go to conferences and speak to them face to face. So then you're letting them, you're within the playground. You're taking advantage of their favorite thing. Oh, I like to go to conferences. All right. Based off of conferences, how can we play? Yes.
So should we say more modalities or just one modality?
Let's do one so they can focus on that. If they run out and you have more ideas, give them another modality. You're trying to get as many ideas in 3 minutes as possible. Got it? Last question.
Speaking topic or no?
No, doesn't even need to be the topic. Remember, we're just trying to come up with your flow state of how you want to talk about speaking. We don't need to know the topics yet. All right? Bless you. Okay. Person with the longest hair will go first. 3 minutes. 3, 2. Oh, wait. And one thing. Go ahead. Everyone put your hand in the middle because we got to build Bill, all right. Oh, on the count of three, ground floor. 1, 2, 3. Ground floor. Get started. Go. First one. Okay. High five each other. High five each other. Let's wrap up, everyone. Let's wrap up. Time to wrap up. We have thing. I gotta kick you out of here. We've gone too far. All right, everyone. So stay where you're standing because I'm going to just wrap up this way. So stay where you're standing because we need to wrap up quickly. So if I could just get your attention, Anna Lynn, Kathy, can I get your attention? May, can I get your attention? Okay. All right. Because we need to wrap up and I'm going to kick you out of here apparently. Okay. So what the last thing you're going to do is you're going to do this. You're basically going to choose your favorite idea. Okay. Look at your whole list. Pick your favorite one that's doable. Then next to it, I want you to write the name of someone that's going to help you do it. Some accountability, because it's not going to happen. Not me, can't be me. Somebody that's going to make sure that this actually happens in the next week or 2 weeks. You can even blame me and be like, the Lego bow tie guy told me that I had to contact you and text you, right? And then you're going to tell them today. So at some point, you're going to tell them today. Because this is not going to happen if, like, I don't ever want to do a talk where you're like, oh, this is a good idea. You write a bunch of things down and then we forget about it. No. I want one thing that you're going to actually do from this. I'd rather you get a mess. I'd rather you email me and be like, this didn't work. You suck. Great. At least you tried it. At least you tried it. This is all about try. This is all about experimenting. We don't know what's going to work, right? So choose your favorite idea that's exciting. Pick a play person that's going to help you make this happen. And then text them today and be like, how can you help me make this? As we wrap up, if you want to take a picture of anything, take a picture of this. We've covered all these things. You're ready right now. You just need the logistics. Use all the resources available to find the gigs. You have access to all of this. If you scan the QR code at the end, I will email you the slides and everything, right? I want you to lean into the nerve-sided talk, don't play small, right? Ask for help from your network. Remember, 80% of your work is going to come from 20% that you already have. So let's not do too much extra work. And lastly, embrace your play values and be ridiculous to find your next gig. We want to do fun things to market ourselves. We don't want to do the boring shit that we hate. This is why marketing sucks, because we keep doing the shitty stuff. Okay? All right? Scan the QR code. I'm done. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate you. Let's go.
Steps are. The future is where people are having the most fun. So dive into where you're having the most fun because that's where your future lies.